This is Passengers United.
Good evening. So this is an important petition. If you live on Roosevelt Island, or if you live at 21st Street, Queensbridge, or if you're a Queens Boulevard rider and you ride the R train, the F as in fish train, E as in egg, M as in Mary, or you take the Q train, definitely guys, please be advised, there's going to be a lot of service changes. So why don't we just read the petition, provide better transit alternatives for Roosevelt Island commuters during the 63rd Street Tunnel project. Why this petition matters. And this petition is really for New York City, New York City Transit. It's for our elected officials and our community stakeholders. So due to the months-long 63rd Street track replacement project, the MT is running a service pattern from 30 years ago, which has since become obsolete. So the MT is trying to run an old service plan. We know it's not going to work. Roosevelt Island has actually grown, guys. Buildings have been developed there. You also have Cornell Tech is there. You have a lot of universities that have dormitories in Roosevelt Island. And most of all, you have a lot of people with disabilities in Roosevelt Island. So we'll read the rest of this petition. Regular F trains have been diverted to the E as in egg line between Manhattan and Queens. There is an F as in fish shuttle train only runs back and forth between Lexington 63rd and 21st Street Queensbridge on the Manhattan-bound track. Thus, only one platform is being used at Roosevelt Island and 21st Street Queensbridge, and the shuttle train only boards on the upper level at the Lexington Ave-63rd Street station. The shuttle train does not run overnight. The only elevator that connects the platform and mezzanine at the Roosevelt Island station is currently out of service, deeming the station inaccessible. Now, the MTE had a press conference last week. A reporter had raised a question about this at the MTE press conference with the electeds and the MTE chairman there, General Lieber, and General Lieber couldn't answer the question, and they said they would get back to the reporter. Guys, that is unacceptable. So let's read more. There is already confusion about the shuttle train due to inadequate announcements on board trains and in stations. The PE system at Lexington Avenue, 63rd Street is defective, and it hasn't worked for years. And that is so annoying. You're on a platform, you don't know what's going on, and there's no announcements until Ride Savers and Passengers United comes in and saves the day and makes announcements. But we're not MT employees, we're just there volunteering. So, as well as the shuttle's misleading F designation, the shuttle train should only be called what it is, a shuttle train, making only 3 stops. Announcements need to be made frequently at stations, and MT employees should be actively helping riders. The Roosevelt Island and 21st Street Queensbridge stations should also be fare-free for the duration of the project. And that is something, guys, I feel like if people are coming from Jamaica, let's say, and some people don't want to go into Manhattan, and they're being told to get off at Queens Plaza, and they get on the 94 shuttle bus. When they get back to 21st Street Queensbridge on weekdays to get to Roosevelt Island, they shouldn't have to pay another fare. Why is that? I don't think that's right. So we agree that Roosevelt Island, 21st Street Queensbridge should be fare-free for the duration of the project. Furthermore, blow torches are being used for this track replacement project, resulting in smoke, which I saw firsthand, steel and cement dust at the Roosevelt Island and 21st Street Queensbridge stations. And guys, this is also happening at 57th Street as well. That station serves the M line, but they've already ripped up part of the track on the other side. So this is hazardous for people to breathe, especially silica dust, all that stuff, especially without proper air ventilation in the stations. The Roosevelt Island tram is often overcrowded, and tourists have been pushing senior citizens, pushing them, which is, I saw that, I was very upset by that. Persons with disabilities and even baby strollers. Like tourists, I know you guys want to see Roosevelt Island, but please respect the people who live there. And at times, unfortunately, there is only one car running on weekdays, doubling the crowding. The tram should have priority boarding for seniors and those with disabilities. The MT shuttle buses running between 21st Street, Queensbridge and Queens Plaza. So during weekdays, it's the Q95. And at night, it's the Q94, and that's actually on weekends as well. So it comes from Queens Village and Jamaica bus depots. It's coming all the way from Southeast Queens, only those two garages to work the Roosevelt Island shuttle. And unfortunately, it's depleting regular bus service in Southeast Queens. So just to give you a rundown, there are only 3 buses running on the Q94 overnight. Sometimes they might have a 4th bus, but the amount of service on the Q94 and Q95 on weekends as well is dependent on the availability of drivers and vehicles. I want to stress that enough, guys. I can't stress that enough. And even if they fill the full runs on the shuttle, unfortunately, bus runs in Southeast Queens are getting canceled to make up for that. So somebody is losing somewhere in the borough, and that's unacceptable. And so again, on weekends, there is only one RIOC, that is the Roosevelt Island Operating Corporation shuttle bus between Roosevelt Island and Mhtn, and it only runs hourly each direction between 3 p.m. And then 3:30 p.m. to Roosevelt Island, and 7 p.m. To 7:30 to Roosevelt Island. So that's the bus there. There should be at least 4 empty shuttle buses on each route, and as well as the route that connects Roosevelt Island with Manhattan. And the shuttle train could go out of service at any time, which is a big worry that so many Roosevelt Island residents have told us. And what happens if the shuttle train goes down? What is the backup plan? So that's why you need those shuttle buses running on weekdays. So on weekdays, I just want to clarify, in case you're confused, the Q95 buses only go from Queens Plaza to 21st Street, Queensbridge. That's it. If you need to go to Roosevelt Island on weekdays, like weekday afternoons, weekday mornings, late weekday evenings, and rush hours, Q95 is your option. The problem with that is, why should you have to pay another fare? So that's the issue. And I've only seen 3 or 4 shuttle buses or less running. And sometimes the buses get stuck in traffic. So it's no good for our seniors, guys. Our seniors need something. And especially people with disabilities. They need alternatives. So the weekend shuttle buses to Manhattan should run 24/7, be operated by the MTE, and there needs to be at least 5 buses on the route. So they should have like a Q96 or a Q97 bus that goes from Roosevelt Island, makes stops along Main Street, and then it goes over the bridge into Queens Express, and then it ends at 2nd Avenue and 68th Street, or even better, it could go to Lexington 59th. So people could make connections to a 4, 5, and 6. They could make connections to the NNR trains. So the Q102, let's talk about that. The Q102 is the only MTA bus that serves Roosevelt Island. And the Q102 is an MTA bus company route, not a New York City Transit route. There has been no service increase on the Q102, which only has about 5 buses on weekdays and a headway of over 20 minutes. Guys, sometimes it could be 35 minutes if a bus is missing. Many workers now have to pay 2 fares because their commutes have become more complex. And as you all know, furthermore, a citywide school bus strike is possible, which could force many students onto mass transit in September. With the current situation on Roosevelt Island, this could make the situation even worse and cause further problems. So there needs to be more buses on Q102 to serve already disadvantaged Roosevelt Island riders. And guys, I would say, in addition to the buses that they have, they need to add maybe 4 more buses on the 102. Because the problem with the 102, as I've seen, the bus goes very slow. Because it starts in Astoria, then it comes down to Queens Plaza, then it goes through Queens Plaza, only to go back up, and then through Long Island City, only to get into Roosevelt Island. But then when it comes into Roosevelt Island, it makes a right, and it goes towards the back of Roosevelt Island. By Polo Hospital, it goes through those narrow streets, and in Roosevelt Island, there's a speed restriction. So you have to go very slow along Main Street. It is a problem, guys. And not only that, the pickups of the wheelchairs, The bus drivers have told me they need at least 5 minutes to unload and load a wheelchair. Because if there's a baby stroller, as I saw, and you're about to see this in our YouTube channel, sometimes it takes a while. So definitely they need to improve on that. And I think the 102 should have the newer buses, guys. They have the old buses in the 102, which are horrible. Let's talk about the M train. So furthermore, the M trains have been cut short. And believe me, we've gotten a lot of complaints on the Queens Boulevard line, meaning they are not serving Queens during this project. The only line on the Queens Boulevard running local is the R as in rotten train, or is the R, what's the other word for R that we can think of? Let's see, rotten, unreliable, and that's all I can think of right now. And there is not enough service to meet the already high demand of this essential subway branch. Thus, the G's and George train needs to be extended from Court Square to Forest Hill, 71st Avenue to fill the gap in service along Queens Boulevard. So the MTA lied and said they were adding extra service on the R line to everyone. Guess what, guys? It's because they've cut the M train, and technically they haven't added any extra service. Because if you're waiting at those local stations along the Queens Boulevard line, you're now waiting, you actually are waiting 20 minutes for a train. Because we all know the R often gets bunched up. And like today, I was at Queens Plaza. I saw 3 E's and egg trains come, then an F train came, and then the R train came. And I was waiting at the station for over 15 minutes. So we understand, it's frustrating. So the G train needs to be extended from Court Square to Forest Hills, 71st Avenue to fill the gap in service along Queens Boulevard. We agree. And this is where the MTA is going to dispute this. But here's what we have to say at Passengers United. We understand that these extra services will require additional funding. That being said, Roosevelt Island and Queensbridge residents, especially essential workers, medical workers, workers who help our seniors, people with disabilities, our grocery store workers, our first responders, they should not have to suffer the additional 25 to 30 minutes to their commutes each day. The alternative service should be better than the provided subway service. And one thing with us in Southeast Queens, when they were doing the J train work and the E train tunnel work between Jamaica Center and where was it? Van Wyck Boulevard, when it was closed for 6-7 months, we had LIR cross honoring. So it was actually better than subway service. We didn't feel the effects of it. Same thing here, guys. They have to give them more service. So what can you do? Here's where I need all of you listening. Plan ahead. And one of the things, when I was in subway stations volunteering with my megaphone and talking to riders, I noticed many riders didn't have the MyMTE app downloaded in their phone. But I told many of them, even if you're not an app or you're not a tech savvy person, you can just go to Google and put in MTA, right? Click on service advisories. And then you can click on the drop-down menu where it says subway lines. Click on the subway line and you can see what's going on. So always plan ahead. Give yourself at least 30 minutes of extra travel time in both directions, especially if you're an essential worker. I can't stress that enough. Stay informed. Check mte.info or the MyMTE app for real-time service alerts. Of course, keep an eye and a ear out at stations and onboard trains and buses. 3, this is the most important part. Everyone is angry and upset. I'm angry. But you know what? We need to take action, guys. And this is how we're going to help you at Passengers United. Because we put everything together for you. And we've made this as easy as it is. Contact your elected officials. Let them know that the situation is not okay and that they must act to help fix it. Calling and emailing them is much more effective than responding to them on social media. So, if your station is Lexington Ave-63rd or Roosevelt Island, City Councilwoman Julie Menon is your City Council rep. Her phone number is there, her email is there, her address is there. And then that's the district address for the office. You also have Rebecca A. Seawright. She's a New York State Assemblywoman. You can reach her at the number, email her. The address is there. Now, if your station is 21st Street, Queensbridge, New York City Councilwoman Tiffany Caban is your rep. You can email her. You can call her, definitely. You can also speak to the New York State Assemblyman, Zohan Mandani. He can help you as well. New York State Senate Christine Gonzalez. So that's in her district, in Astoria and Long Island City. And that's her address and phone number there. And of course, Congresswoman AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her phone number is there, her contact information is there. But we've made it super easy for you, because guess what we did at Passengers United? We created an online change.org petition. So sign the petition. Passengers United has started a petition on change.org. Please sign it to tell the MT and your elected officials that you need faster, more reliable, and simply better travel alternatives. You can also find the petition at passengersunited.org petitions. I'll repeat that again. You can find the petition at passengersunited.org/petitions and share it with everyone. And if you can't find it for some reason on our website, just go to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You'll find it there. Thank you so much, guys, and we hope all of you at Roosevelt Island will fill out this petition, get involved, and guys, we hope to see you. And if you see us in the subway station or you see us on the Q102 bus route, please feel free to come out and shake our hands and say hello. We'd love to say hello to you. Thank you. It's been an honor serving you at Passengers United.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to date with Passengers United, please subscribe and follow us on social media. Learn more about us at passengersunited.org.